Good morning again, everyone. My name is Nicola Simpson-Lake, and I will be presenting on unlocking the value of ArcGIS with apps in the second part of our webinar. In this session, we will showcase the ArcGIS apps and how your business can utilize them to unlock the value of ArcGIS. We will also discuss how you can integrate multiple ArcGIS apps to support field operations, work offline, office workflows, as well as engaging the community. Esri has a rich, diverse symphony of apps to radically improve an organization's productivity, effectiveness, efficiency, sharing, and collaboration. And throughout this webinar, we will show how these apps can contribute to these 5 key factors within your organization. So when you add the where element to your analysis, you can ask new questions and gain new insights that help you to make more informed decisions and achieve better outcomes. So this morning, we will show you how you can unlock the latent value in your organization's assets by using your apps to make them work for you. So by adding apps to your organization, you can learn a lot when you unlock the power of geography in your analytics. You don't have to be a GIS pro to do this, and you can easily add GIS to commonly available Microsoft Office. So before we discuss the different categories of apps available, I would like us to look at where GIS is coming from and where we are today. So ArcGIS is coming from the days of working with local files on our desktop to the server-based architecture, which allows our GIS professionals to not only author, but publish information that is then consumed by other analysts within your organization. And now to your universal GIS, which provides the ability to work with your data anywhere on any device, whether you're using ArcGIS Online or Portal for ArcGIS. So as my colleague mentioned earlier, there are a lot of ArcGIS apps available to you, and we're going to show you several of them today. The best place to go and learn more about these apps is Esri's Apps for Office. You can visit esri.com/apps and you can browse them by category, whether it's the field for the office or community, as well as app builders. These apps are also available in your app store, although many of them are included with your current ArcGIS licenses. And as mentioned earlier by Natalie, we will be providing you with copies of these apps, which will also provide you with roles and provide you with better understanding as to what each app can do for your organization. Also, each card has a short description and link to a map, app, or platform configuration specific to whether that be local government, emergency management, statistic department, among others. And we will also be using app cards as graphics in this presentation. So on screen, we have what we call our Symphony of Apps poster. It is a decision tree that helps you choose the right app. We'll be providing you also with a link to this poster so you will have your own copy. You can also contact us to get assistance in selecting and implementing the appropriate app for your situation. So the challenge we face as users is figuring out which app works best for certain needs and when apps should work together to create the perfect result. So the chart on screen can help you make those decisions. Select how you use ArcGIS, whether in the field, in the office, or in the community, and then move through the chart to see which apps work best for you. So I might want to coordinate my work crew in the field. There's an app for that, Workforce for the workforce. Or I am using a paper form to conduct my surveys. Is there an app that can simplify this process? And the answer would be Survey 123. Or do you want to analyze where element of your data is stored? We have an app for that as well. Maps for Office. Or working with local government and you're in the middle of putting together a 3D planning and design virtual world, we also have an app for that, and that would be our City Engine. And last, you selected numerous sites based on virtual world design and now want to engage the general public to get their feedback as to the best location. We have our crowdsourcing app for that. So as you can see on our Symphony of App poster, there is an app for every situation. And if a situation should exist that one of these apps cannot address completely, there's also app builders as mentioned earlier. So we will take a brief look at each category of apps in the upcoming slides. However, for the purpose of this session, we will be focusing mainly on ArcGIS apps for the office. So the first category of apps we'll be looking at is ArcGIS apps for the field. And we will discuss how they can be used to support the entire field operations. Excuse me. Just about all organization has workers in the field and they need access to GIS tools. So what we're going to discuss today is how these apps can be integrated together to really improve performance and efficiency in the field. We all know field operations is expensive and we want to get the most out of those crew out there doing that work. We have the perfect solution for that, and we have several different apps that you can use for working in the field. So field operation involves a lot of interconnecting activities that often don't work together. Smart organizations know that different tools are needed for coordinating workers, routing them to service call, or getting accurate data to the office. But many of those same organizations are still buried in paperwork. Without a unified workflow, you're stuck with inaccurate data and manual processes. So through the use of ArcGIS, you are provided with that unified workflow so that everyone in the field and office is working from the same data in real time. So let's take a look at a powerful, easy to use suite of apps to reduce paperwork, replace outdated workflow, and make smarter decisions. So the first app we will be looking at is Workforce for ArcGIS. And this helps you to plan and coordinate field workers so that workers can stay organized and productive. You can interact with maps from anywhere with Explorer for ArcGIS and even sketch on them to highlight ideas for others. Navigator for ArcGIS gets your field workers where they need to be using the most efficient route, even when they are disconnected. You can gather map-centric field data with Collector for ArcGIS, whether you are online or disconnected. Survey 123 for ArcGIS makes it easier to create smart surveys for practical decision making. And with Drone to Map for ArcGIS, you can turn your high-resolution drone imagery into stunning 2D and 3D imagery products. And last, you can monitor real-time feedbacks of your organization activities with Operation Dashboard, so you can focus on your top priorities. So all these apps can be integrated together, allowing everyone in the field and the office to be able to work with the same authoritative data in real time, seamlessly integrated with the world's leading ArcGIS platform. So now we're going to take a look at our apps for the community. And here we will use an example from crime management. So crime is a, crime is a major concern for all countries. Each governing body has to come up with innovative ways of fighting crime and getting information is critical to that fight. Geographic can serve as a starting point for building a community engagement strategy, and GIS technology can provide you with the tools you need to accomplish it. So we will discuss 3 ways you can get started with community engagement using ArcGIS. So the first one we'll look at is empowering your community with crowdsourcing apps. And in this process, you're able to collect volunteered information from people. If you give them the right tools, they can become your eyes and ears on the ground. People can provide information anonymously and assist the government in fighting crime. Crowdsourcing can also help to reduce crime and police response. The second one is engaging your community. And this is you telling a story. You're telling people a story that's relevant to their location. You can introduce your community to their neighborhood police officers through the use of story maps, because we need the public to see that our police are approachable. If it's related to their business or an issue that matters to them, then providing them with a clear story about it can be amazingly effective in bringing attention to the matter, helping you establish more resilient engagement with meaningful content. Showing people you understand what they're going through and making them more aware of what is happening around them and the relevance of information provided by them is the right step in fighting crime. Our last approach is the use of dashboard. And the dashboard consolidates the measurements and reports of complex and often dynamic information into one simple view, similar to the dashboard in your car. Your brain can absorb the information on a dashboard in just a glance. So geography works nicely in dashboards. It helps people orientate themselves to the information. And this is especially important for decision makers who need to stay on top of unfolding situations. They need to know what's going on and where it's happening in one glance. And if a decision maker needs to deploy security forces, they can do so with ease using dashboard. The last category we'll be looking at is ArcGIS apps for the office. So for persons who use Microsoft Office to manipulate data and would like to combine mapping with data, I have 2 questions for you. Do you use Excel spreadsheets with location data? And do you put maps in PowerPoint slides? As ArcGIS professional, we encounter different types of situation each day. We may have tabular data we would like to project, or would like to see patterns that are not easily visible. ArcGIS Maps for Office lets you bring ArcGIS mapping and data visualization into Microsoft Office applications. And Maps for Office is a plugin for Microsoft Office. You can download this plugin by visiting esri.com/app. You can connect through your ArcGIS Online or portal for ArcGIS. So why would you use Maps for Office? Apps for Office is easy to use. It can be used by the entire organization, from the analyst to the CEO, manager, or supervisor. It is that aha moment when you realize you can easily bring ArcGIS mapping and data visualization into Microsoft application, which also allow for the collaboration throughout the entire organization in a secure environment to raise productivity and enable better decision making. Mapping can be beneficial to many roles across the organization, whether you have your data in spreadsheets and you're an analyst and like working in Excel, whether you're a manager and you want to see where people are in the field, or whether you're a GIS professional who would like to author and share information throughout your organization. ArcGIS apps for the office bring the power of spatial to the entire organization, to people of low geospatial skill levels, to people with medium and high levels of geospatial skill levels. It's bringing it out from that GIS organization and bringing the value of maps to everyone. So ArcGIS Maps for Office. It has a quick mapping interface, which allows people who aren't trained in GIS to see their data on a map. On screen, we have 5 easy steps that will allow you, the user, to take your location data combined with different map styles to see patterns, gain understanding, and tell your story with your final output. So the upcoming slides will discuss these 5 steps in more details. So the first step we will be looking at is visualize your data in new ways. When you visualize your data on a map, you can see patterns that aren't visible with spreadsheets, charts, and graphs. ArcGIS Maps for Office allows you to visualize your data in new ways. You can use ArcGIS Maps for Office to create maps from your spreadsheet data as easily as you create a graph or chart, all from within Microsoft Excel. Smart mapping options let you adjust how these maps are styled to emphasize the most important information. The second step is put your data in context with the world. Maps for Office allows you to put your data in context with the world. Through this app, you're able to add content from ArcGIS Online, such as content from your organization account, as well as content created by others in ArcGIS Online. So most organizations are data rich, but information poor. And ArcGIS Online, and with ArcGIS Online, it's possible to harvest well-needed data based on ideas or projects being implemented. And again, through Maps for Office, you're able to perform analysis, see trends, and create reports. Our third step is analyze your spreadsheet data spatially. Through Maps for Office, you're able to analyze your spreadsheet data spatially. Analysis such as what is nearby can be performed in Maps for Office. And on screen, we see an analysis showing bike stations within 25-kilometer distance of well station. And from that result, a hotspot analysis map was produced. So ArcGIS users are now able to perform tasks in Microsoft Excel that was once only possible in ArcGIS Desktop or ArcGIS Online. You're now able to view data at all levels from which can be created clustered point maps, heat maps, and hotspot analysis to help you identify significant trends and patterns not easily visible within spreadsheets. Our fourth step is collaboration with your peers. So ArcGIS Maps for Office integrates directly with the ArcGIS platform. So it not only allows you to consume information, but it also allows you to publish information to your ArcGIS Online and portal for ArcGIS. You can share your maps, your layers, or dynamic maps with members of your organization or persons outside of your organization over a secured platform. So by syncing your maps with ArcGIS, you can share the latest, most reliable information and insights with anyone who needs them. Your maps can be accessed anywhere on any device, including your desktop, web browsers, smartphones, and your tablets. And our last step is telling your story better. With ArcGIS Maps for Office, you can use the maps you create in Excel in other Microsoft Office applications. ArcGIS Maps for Office includes one-click tools that add dynamic maps to your PowerPoint slides that allows you to pan and zoom while in presentation mode. You can drill down into these maps directly from your PowerPoint slides, which can help you during answer and question session that may surface during your presentations. All right, so I'd like to thank you for staying with me and now open the floor for questions.